This is Midweek Politics with Dave Pakman.
Welcome to the show. I'm David Pakman. Glad to have you with us today. Healthcare reform, as it's being called, has passed, and we'll get to that later. Bill Scher from liberaloasis.com and the Campaign for America's Future is in studio. He's not in the studio right now, obviously, but he will be in studio. He's right outside, and he'll be talking to us about what's going on with healthcare, the baby killer shouts, and much more. Okay, let's see. There's really a lot to get to other than healthcare, and a little bit later we'll have an interesting interview after Bill Scher as well with a man who says the problem with the church is that they now believe in psychology, which is something that the devil created. Or maybe the devil's not the right word. Maybe Satan is the right word. More from him later. Over the weekend, I was at this conference. It's really the only talk radio conference that I know about. Talkers Magazine is the magazine. They are actually here in Massachusetts. They have this conference in New York, and I went there, and there was a bunch of interesting stuff going on. Number one is that there was an award given to Sean Hannity, and I actually have, this is the little booklet, the schedule, and there's an award that they were giving Sean Hannity, and when I saw this, I said, that's Sean Hannity's getting the award, and the name of it is the Outstanding Community Service by a Radio Talk Show Host. And Sean Hannity was being given that. And it's for these freedom concerts that he does, which are pretty interesting if you've never been to one. And the same day that this award was to be given out, some of the blogs picked up on the fact that maybe his charity is kind of in the Wyclef situation where they're paying Hannity a ton of that money that's being donated and then actually only giving a small donation. And this all came to a head at this conference. And literally, Sean Hannity was there and a number of other liberal talk radio people that all of Friday and Saturday had been saying, hey, how is he getting this award, given that he's getting all this money himself? The report that I read says the following. According to the 2006 tax returns, the revenue for this Freedom Concert company, that or nonprofit, was over $10 million. And only $400,000 of that, that's less than 4%, Lewis, was actually given to the children of fallen troops as scholarships. And among this, all of the listed expenses included millions for postage, $1 million for printing, $500,000 of professional fees and consultants. It's just not clear that he really deserved this award. And I wasn't going to say anything. You know, nobody even knows who I am there. I'm not trying to offend anyone, but other liberal talk radio people who our audience would certainly know their names. And I'm not going to say. You could, if you look on Twitter, and if you want to find out, you easily could, because they were making very public that they didn't think Sean Hannity deserved this award. Were there, and they were considering going up to Sean and saying, you should be ashamed of yourself, essentially. And the Talkers Conference directors did not want that to happen. It didn't happen. Sean Hannity received the award. He was very gracious, very nice guy, regardless of the politics or not. But he did address this, and he said he doesn't get a penny. Everything is going to the charity. I don't know what the truth is. The accounting numbers, do they lie? We know accountants can fudge numbers, but I don't know that they would fudge them in this direction. I feel like they'd go the other way.
Regardless of how much is going to Mr. Hannity.
He claims nothing.
Well, it's going somewhere. Apparently, it's not all going to the right places. Where is it going?
Well, apparently it's going to, you need over $1 million for printing if you're running these concerts, apparently. I don't know. I don't know what printer they're going to. It sounds expensive.
And only 4% can be salvaged to actually donate to people who need it.
You know, when nonprofits make a big deal out of they give 90, 95, 98% of the donations, here they're only giving 4%. If these numbers are right, it's a problem. The other interesting thing there was, remember Mark Foley, the Florida congressman who was sending inappropriate texts and instant messages to pages?
Oh, yeah. He's
doing radio now, and he was there. And honestly, it was kind of awkward. I first saw him, and I was just thinking, is that Mark Foley? And he is doing a show on WSVU. And he was a really nice guy. I talked to him for a little bit. I'm hoping he'll come on the show and we can get some answers about exactly what was going on there. And I looked up and I said, maybe I'm just remembering wrong and this isn't that bad. Some of the stuff he said included describing, under his screen name MAF54, how years earlier he looked to see whether a former page had an erection in his tight white pants while the then teenager was working near the congressman. MAF54 also speculated about the sexual attributes of other males in the same page class, including the observation that one young man was well hung. You know exactly what this reminds me of, right? You know what I'm about to play.
I got some wine coolers.
Wine coolers are just fine.
You weren't kidding when you said a big house.
I know, the house is beautiful. I love my house.
Yeah. Are you the only child?
Yeah. Oh, did you bring protection?
Yeah.
Perfect.
The only bad news about that is you're probably not going to need that type of protection.
Honestly, at the conference, I expected Chris Hansen to walk in any second and say, "Why don't you step over there?" Also in a 2000 message, MAF54, aka Mark Foley, inquired about the length and the direction, not just the length, of a youth's erection. Interesting. Midweek Politics is brought to you in part by Jackson & Connor, classically modern men's apparel in Northampton, Massachusetts on the second floor of Thorne's Marketplace, and by DIF Design, specializing in custom business websites at difdesign.com. To find out more about underwriting Midweek Politics, visit midweekpolitics.com.